The black mechanic fixed the officer's car. Then read the name on the tag, sir. Your brakes didn't fail. Someone cut them. That one line froze the entire garage. Officer Daniels, still in uniform, turned sharply toward the black mechanic crouched under his patrol car. What did you just say? His voice was hard, defensive, like he planned to blame someone before hearing the truth. Malik wiped his hands on a rag, stood up slowly, and looked him dead in the eye. I said somebody did this on purpose. You're lucky the car didn't flip on Highway 9. The garage went quiet. Air stopped moving. Even the oil-stained fan buzzing in the corner seemed to pause. Danielle scoffed. You expect me to believe that? You mechanics love making problems where there aren't any. Malik didn't flinch. He'd heard that tone all his life, the tone that didn't see him as a man, just a worker. But he kept calm. I don't guess, sir. I fix what's real. Danielle stepped closer, his boots tapping the concrete. Look, I don't have time for games. Just replace whatever's broken and... Malik cut him off, holding up the damaged brake line. Clean slice. Straight through. Intentional. Danielle's face changed. Just a flicker. Fear, confusion, something buried deeper. Who would do that? He whispered. Malik shrugged. That's not my job to know. Then he added softly, but whoever did it knows you. A chill ran through the officer's body. He handed Malik the repair tag. Routine procedure. Malik glanced at it like he always did, ready to log it into the system. But then his eyes slowed. Focused. Stuck. Name on the tag. Officer Michael Daniels. Emergency contact, Evelyn Daniels. Department badge number 047 to Malik single quotes as heartbeat kicked in his chest. He recognized the last name, the badge number, the emergency contact. His hands started shaking, something he never let customers see. Daniels noticed. What is it? Malik didn't answer. He just stared at that tag like it carried a ghost, because it did. And before Malik could speak, Daniels snapped. Say it. What do you know? Malik swallowed hard, words barely forming. Your badge number, he whispered. It belonged to the officer who arrested my father. And the garage fell into a silence so heavy it felt like the walls were holding their breath. The wrench slipped from Malik's hand and hit the floor with a sharp clang. Officer Daniels stiffened. What did you just say? My badge number. What about it? Malik took a step back, almost like the past had physically pushed him. He wiped the sweat from his forehead, but his voice stayed steady, controlled. That number, he said quietly, belonged to the officer who dragged my father out of our home 15 years ago. Badge 047 too. I never forgot it. Daniels blinked, confused. That can't be. I wasn't even on duty 15 years ago. Malik stared at him. I know. That's why I'm asking. Why are you carrying his badge? The officer opened his mouth, but nothing came out. He looked down at the tag like he had never seen it before in his life. I don't understand. He muttered. Malik folded his arms. Let me make it simple. My father was arrested for something he didn't do, and after that, our whole life collapsed. My mom lost the house. I dropped out for a year. Everything we had, gone. Danielle swallowed hard. Look, I'm sorry for what happened, but what's that got to do with me? Malik stepped closer, eyes locked on him. It has everything to do with you if you're wearing the badge of the man who destroyed my family. Daniel's jaw clenched. You think I stole it? I didn't even choose it. They assigned it when I graduated the academy. I didn't know it belonged to anyone. Malik interrupted. That badge wasn't just a number. It was a whole nightmare. A heavy silence filled the garage again. Daniels rubbed his forehead, shaken. Do you know his name? The officer who arrested your father. Malik nodded slowly, his voice lowered. Officer Raymond Daniels. The color drained from the officer's face. He staggered back like Malik had punched him. Malik narrowed his eyes. Yeah, now you get it. Same last name. Daniels sat down on a nearby stool, breath shaking. That was my uncle. Malik froze. The world seemed to tilt for a second. Daniels looked up, eyes wide, terrified. My uncle. The man you're talking about. He died 10 years ago. I didn't even know what cases he handled. Malik clenched his fists. So, you're telling me I'm fixing the car of the nephew of the man who ruined my father's life? Daniels didn't answer, but he didn't need to. His silence said everything. The next few seconds felt like the air had turned heavy enough to break. Malik stood still, jaw tight, trying to breathe through memories he spent years burying. Officer Daniels sat frozen, elbows on his knees, staring at the floor like the truth had slapped him awake. Your uncle, Malik repeated, his voice low, steady, and dangerous. The man who threw my father in a patrol car like he was trash. That was your blood. Daniels rubbed his face, fingers trembling. I didn't know him well. My family didn't talk about him. He was complicated. Malik scoffed. Complicated? He ruined families. Daniels lifted his eyes. I didn't say he was a good man. That answer stunned Malik more than anger would have. Daniels continued quietly. I grew up hearing whispers. Raymond messed up again. Raymond got suspended. Raymond's temper will get him fired. But nobody told me details. They wanted to protect me. Malik stepped closer. Who protected us? My father lost everything. Jail, court fees, job gone. You know how long it took to clear his name. He pointed to the floor. 6 years. 6 years for something he didn't do. Daniels swallowed hard. Malik? I didn't know. Malik's voice cracked, honesty pushing through anger. I know you didn't, but I've spent half my life hating that badge, that number, and suddenly, it's in my hands again. He held the repair tag up like it was a cursed object. Daniels looked away, ashamed. If I could undo what he did, I would. You can't, Malik said sharply. Silence hit the garage like a drop of cold metal. Then Daniels spoke again, softer. But maybe I can do something else. Malik frowned. Like what? Daniels hesitated, almost afraid of his own words. You said someone cut my brake line. Someone tried to hurt me. He paused. What if it's connected to my uncle? Malik's stomach twisted. What are you talking about? Daniels looked him dead in the eye. Before he died, my uncle left something behind. A notebook, full of names, cases, people who hated him, and people he hurt. Malik stared at him, pulse rising. Daniels continued, voice dropping to a whisper. My name was on the last page. Malik's breath hitched. Why? He asked. Daniels inhaled slowly. That, I don't know. But I think someone wants revenge. He pointed at the sliced brake line. And I think whoever went after me might be the same person who destroyed your father's life. Malik's heart pounded. Why would they come after you? Daniels exhaled, eyes darkening, because they think I'm my uncle. Malik felt the ground shift under his feet. You're telling me, he said slowly, that someone cut your brake line thinking you're your uncle. Daniels nodded, his jaw tight. Same last name, same badge number, same department. Whoever's watching, they don't know he's gone. Malik felt a chill crawl up his spine. He leaned against the tool cabinet, breathing harder than he wanted to show. So, Malik muttered, they think you're the man who ruined my dad's life. And maybe others. Daniels didn't answer. The silence said enough. Malik shook his head. This is insane. Who would go this far? Daniels hesitated, then opened his wallet and slid out a torn page, old, yellowed, handwriting, messy and angry. A list of names. Half of them cross out. Malik's eyes widened when he saw it. His father's name, underlined, twice. What the hell is this? Malik whispered. My uncle's notes, Daniels said quietly. These were people he arrested, accused, or messed up. Some convictions held, some didn't. He swallowed. Some are innocent. Malik's fingers tightened around the paper. So there was a list? My dad wasn't lying. He always said someone targeted him. Daniels nodded. But here's the part that scares me. He flipped the note. On the back was a sentence scribbled in rush handwriting, almost unreadable. Someone will finish what I started. Malik's stomach flipped. This means someone's following the list, Daniels said, and they think I'm him. Malik backed up, shaking his head. Man, no. This is too much. Daniels placed the notebook page on the workbench gently, like it was explosive. Malik, listen. If someone came after me because of what happened to your father, His voice cracked. Then you're not just a mechanic caught in the middle. Malik froze. You're next on the list, Daniels said softly. The words punched the air out of Malik's chest. No, Malik whispered. No, that's impossible. Why would they? Daniels cut him off. Because they think I'm your uncle's legacy, and they think hurting you will hurt him. A long, cold silence filled the garage. Malik swallowed hard, trying to process the storm hitting him from both sides, the past he spent years trying to heal, and a danger he never knew was still alive. He tried to speak, but his voice broke. So this ain't just about fixing your car. Daniels nodded. It's about staying alive. Malik ran a hand over his face. You're telling me somebody out there wants to hurt me because they think you're still your uncle? Daniels nodded. Or because they think I'm continuing what he did. Malik laughed. Not the happy kind. The broken kind. Man, my father spent years telling people someone targeted him. Nobody believed him. Not the courts. Not the neighbors. The only person who ever believed him, Malik's voice cracked, was me. Daniels looked down, ashamed. I'm sorry your father went through that. That don't fix anything. Malik shot back. My dad died thinking he was crazy. Daniels swallowed. He wasn't. Malik froze. Daniels continued. If the rest of the names on that list match real people, your father was telling the truth the whole time. Malik leaned against the hood of the car, breathing hard. I don't get it, he whispered. Why pick these people? What connects them? Daniels hesitated, then spoke carefully. They all had run-ins with your uncle. Cases that didn't look clean. Files missing. Evidence questionable. My uncle wasn't fired, but he wasn't trusted either. Malik shook his head. And now someone's finishing what he started. Daniels rubbed the back of his neck. Or trying to correct the past. I don't know. But whoever cut my brake line knew what they were doing, and they weren't trying to scare me. Malik exhaled, eyes narrowing. They were trying to erase the last Daniels. Daniels met his eyes, and anyone connected to the cases he ruined. Malik's heart pounded. My mom. She still lives in the same house. Daniels stood up fast. Then we have to warn her. Right now. Malik grabbed his keys. Let's go. But as he reached the garage door, he stopped. Something glinted under the service counter. Daniels followed his gaze. What is that? Malik bent down and picked up a small metal object, a bolt, clean, new, placed very deliberately. Daniels. Malik whispered, holding it up. This ain't from any car we worked on today. Daniels took it, studying the threads. This is a tamper bolt, used to sabotage engines, or doors. Malik's stomach dropped. Doors like my mom's. Daniels didn't answer. He didn't have to. Malik grabbed his jacket. Whoever left this was here. In this shop. Daniels nodded slowly. And they wanted us to know. Malik's eyes widened. You think they're still nearby? Daniels stepped toward the entrance, lowering his voice. Malik. Somebody's watching us. Malik's chest tightened as he stared toward the garage entrance. The afternoon sun leaked through the cracked windows, casting long shadows across the floor. Shadows that suddenly felt alive. Daniels put a hand on his shoulder. Stay behind me. Malik brushed it off. Man, I'm not hiding in my own shop. Daniels whispered sharply. This isn't pride right now. This is survival. Malik opened his mouth to argue, but then a faint metallic click echoed from the alley behind the building. Both men froze. Daniels instinctively reached for his belt, then remembered he left his radio and weapon in the car. Great, he muttered. Today of all days. Malik grabbed a wrench. Big, heavy, his only defense. We're not sitting ducks. Daniels motioned for quiet. Listen, they held still. Nothing. Just wind brushing against the garage door. And distant traffic. Then Malik noticed something he hadn't before. A footprint in the oil stain near the back exit. Fresh. Press deep. Too deep for a casual walk. Daniels. Malik whispered, pointing. Someone was inside. Right there. Daniels crouched down, scanning the print. Size 11. Work boot? Could be anyone but? He touched the edge of the print. This pressure, whoever it was, they left in a hurry. Malik's throat tightened. Maybe they heard us talk about the list? Danielle stood, voice low. Or maybe they were making sure you found that bolt. Malik felt a chill run across his spine. This ain't random anymore. Danielle's nodded. No. Somebody wants you scared. Wants you off balance. Malik's voice trembled, but stayed strong. I'm not running. You shouldn't, Danielle's replied. But you need to be ready. Malik exhaled. For what? Danielle's met his eyes. Worried, honest, human, for the real reason somebody wants me dead. His voice cracked just a little. And the real reason your father was on that list. Malik's heart stopped. What do you mean? Danielle swallowed, staring at the garage door like a ghost stood behind it. My uncle. He wasn't just a bad cop. He was covering something. Something big. Malik stepped closer, eyes burning. Tell me. Danielle's looked shaken to his core. I didn't want to believe it, he whispered. But the last 3 names on that list, they aren't random. They're connected. Malik's voice dropped. Connected how? Danielle's took a breath, long, reluctant, trembling. Your father, and to others, were witnesses. Malik's heart slammed against his ribs. Witnesses to what? Danielle's looked at him with fear in his eyes. A crime my uncle committed. One he hid for years. One someone is trying to erase. He paused. Starting with you. Malik staggered back, gripping the workbench with shaking hands. My father. He wasn't targeted by mistake. Danielle's whispered. No, he was targeted because he saw the truth. Malik felt every muscle in his body tighten. And now someone wants to make sure the last person who knows that truth. Danielle's finished the sentence for him. Never speaks. Malik's breathing grew uneven. Anger and fear mixing in his chest like 2 storms crashing into each other. So my father, he said slowly, didn't get arrested because of a mistake. Your uncle did it to shut him up. Danielle's nodded. Yes. Malik slammed his fist against the workbench. Tools rattled. He didn't care. For years, Malik said through gritted teeth, I watched my father stare out of windows, afraid of shadows, jumping at every knock on the door. He died thinking the world hated him. Danielle's lowered his eyes. He deserved justice. Malik stepped closer. Then why didn't you tell me this earlier? Danielle swallowed. Because I didn't know. I only found out yesterday going through my uncle's things. I saw the last 3 names on the list. And when I saw your father's name, I froze. Malik's voice cracked. Why didn't you come to me? Danielle's looked at him with guilt written all over his face. Because I didn't know how. I didn't know if you'd believe me. I didn't know if I even deserved to speak to you. Malik opened his mouth to reply, but the garage door suddenly creaked. Not fully, just a slight movement, like someone tugged at it from outside. Danielle's went still. You heard that, right? Malik nodded. Yeah, that wasn't the wind. Danielle stepped toward the door quietly, motioning for Malik to stay behind. Malik ignored the motion and followed anyway. Danielle's pressed his ear against the metal. Nothing. Then tap. A single tap, like a finger brushing lightly against the steel. Danielle stepped back. He's playing with us. Malik clenched the wrench in his hand. Or warning us. Danielle shook his head. No. This is intimidation. Whoever is out there wants you scared enough to leave town. Malik's jaw tightened. I'm not running. Good, Danielle's replied. Because I need you for what comes next. Malik faced him. And what's that? Danielle's took a deep breath. I'm going to reopen the case, he said. Your father's case. My uncle's case. All of it. Malik blinked. You can do that. Danielle's nodded. I'm an officer. I have access. I can request the old files. I can push for evidence review. But I can't do it alone. I need someone who knows the truth from your side. Malik stared at him, searching his eyes. And what if the person doing all this comes after us? Danielle's didn't hesitate. Then we face him together. Malik's throat tightened. For the first time since the nightmare began, he didn't feel alone. But before he could answer, a phone buzzed. Malik checked it. His blood ran cold. A message from an unknown number. Stop digging. You're next. Danielle's grabbed the phone from his hand. Oh God, he whispered. This guy isn't watching us. He looked at Malik, fear spreading across his face. He's following you. Malik stared at the phone, his hands trembling. He had seen threats before, but not like this. Not something that felt so close, so personal. Danielle stepped beside him. We leave? Now. But Malik shook his head. No. Running doesn't fix anything. I've been running my whole life from the truth. From the past. From what happened to my father. Danielle softened. Malik. No. Malik said firmly. This ends today. Danielle took a breath. Then we do it smart. They left the garage together and headed straight to the precinct. Danielle personally walked him through the back entrance. No crowd. No attention, into a small, quiet office in the corner of the building. Stacks of old case files sat on a steel shelf. Dust, H. History. Danielle pulled the last box down. The label, Danielle's. Raymond Internal Affairs Archive. Malik felt his chest tighten. Danielle opened the box slowly. Inside were reports, signed statements, disciplinary notes, a notebook with ripped pages, and one thin folder labeled Jerome Incident Report. Malik's father. Malik's breath caught. His fingers shook as he opened the file. Then everything inside him froze. They were photos, old evidence, and a statement written by Malik's mother. It said, "He didn't do it. My husband told the truth. Officer Raymond Daniels threatened him." Malik's eyes blurred with tears. His mother had tried. His father had begged the system to listen, and no one cared. Daniels looked at him with guilt weighing him down. "I'm sorry it took me this long to see it." Malik swallowed hard. "I thought my dad made that up. I thought he was losing his mind. But he wasn't." Daniels pulled out another paper. "Look, it was another list. Names, addresses, dates. The same 3 names from the secret list. All tied to one event." Malik whispered. "They all witnessed something." Daniels nodded. "Something your uncle covered up." Malik stared at the paper. Then his eyes moved to a final page tucked behind it. A hospital report, signed by the attending doctor. Cause of death for Raymond Daniels. Car crash resulting from brake failure. Malik's eyes widened. Brake failure. Someone cut his brakes. Daniels nodded slowly. "Someone has been cleaning up the mess your uncle left behind. One name at a time." Malik's breath hitched. "And they think I'm next. But you're not alone," Daniels said gently. He placed a hand on Malik's shoulder. "I'm going to file this, all of it. I'll open a full investigation. I don't care what it costs. I won't let my uncle's sins ruin anyone else's life." Malik looked at him. Really looked at him. Not as the nephew of the man who destroyed his family. Not as an officer, but as someone trying to do the right thing. Malik whispered, "Why are you helping me?" Daniels took a breath. "I soft with honesty, because I've spent my whole life trying not to be like him. Today, I get to prove it." Malik's eyes filled. He nodded slowly. Just then, the precinct door opened. An older woman stepped inside. Cane tapping. Eyes wide. Voice trembling. "Malik." He turned. It was his mother. How did you find me?" he whispered. She held up her phone. Tears in her eyes. "I got the same message you did." Malik froze. Daniels froze. The threat wasn't just after Malik. It was after them both. Malik rushed to her side. "Mama, we're gonna fix this. The truth is finally coming out." She looked at Daniels nervously. "Can we trust him?" Daniels stepped forward, gently, respectfully. "Yes, ma'am," he said. "I promise you, I will protect your family. I will fix what my uncle broke." The room went silent. Then Malik's mother nodded slowly, wiping tears. "Then let's finish what my husband started." Daniel straightened, determination burning in his eyes. "We will," he said. Starting now. Outside the precinct window, morning sun rose over the city, warm, bright, golden. A new day, a new truth, a new chance to heal. Because sometimes the story doesn't end when the past breaks you. It ends when you finally stand up and face it.